Good morning from Glasgow.
Yeah.
Hello. Another vlog and another weirdo in my view. Glen.
Hello, I'm the weirdo with the view.
Weirdo with the view. So what we're going to do today is Glen's going to be working a gig tonight, and then I'm going to be walking around like an idiot.
Step one. Breakfast, baby.
That's right. Let's go.
Breakfast, baby.
We Scotland.
Welcome to Glasgow.
Apparently I'm about to do something that just should be done. Glen, and what is it?
Greg's sausage roll. Whenever you visit the UK, they do vegan, veggie, regular sausage rolls. Come on.
So there you go, Greg's. Let me know in the comments down below. Is this a thing?
It's not even open yet.
It's not even open yet.
I want my sausage roll, jeez.
We got here about 7 a.m. So I think it's still between people walking out of nightclubs and breakfast time. It's Sunday mornings. Yeah, there's a couple of coffee places around, but I wouldn't mind just getting a bit of food, if you know what I mean.
I think over here it's called scram. You gotta get some scram.
Some scram.
Get some scram.
Scram.
So we need some food, it's scram. And it applies to every meal of the day. Scram, scram, scram.
So scram. The door of one Greg's closes. Another one opens. And we nearly lost Glen.
I just tripped over a flat surface, as you do. Glasgow, baby!
Scotland's trying to kill him already. Greg's closes. Another one. There's nobody in Glasgow. I think we've defeated the city.
Rush lads won. Glasgow nuts.
Hello? Is there anybody here? Echo! Echo! So we're on Buchanan Street, and this is the major street here.
The main shopping street. So Ross, we were here in 2017 together, but as you said, to get the plane over, you came at night time. We actually stayed just there, at the bottom of the street, above.
No recollection.
Above a Zara, but we were here for what, 6 hours or something like that?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Major shopping street. I look, there's not a lot of shopping going on. It's pretty quiet. We are on our way to see, let's face it, a Glasgow landmark. Like, you can forget about all the locks and all the Shetland ponies and all that stuff. Forget about all that stuff. We're going to see the creme de la creme of Scottish culture. So I've watched a couple of vlogs about what we're about to look at, and I've watched like a couple of American people, and they're very, very confused. They're like, oh my god, like can anybody in the comments who's Scottish can explain it to me? And like, even me as an Irish person, and especially being from Dublin, I understand exactly the sense of humour behind this absolute nonsense
Ross,
that I'm currently looking at.
I've ever seen in my life.
It's probably the greatest moment of my life, I would say.
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Duke of Wellington with a traffic cone on his head. You can see the Statue of Liberty. You can have the Sphinx of Egypt. You can have Big Ben in London. You do not have the Duke of Wellington with a traffic cone on his head. I don't know about you, a bit of me kind of wept a little bit. It was very emotional, because there's nothing that excites me more in this world than watching a man from the 1700s sitting on a horse in the middle of Scotland with a traffic cone on his head. I mean, that's goals. That's actually very observant, Glen. They gave the horsey some testicles. Yeah, very good. This gentleman behind me, the Duke of Wellington, he was actually born in Ireland. Arthur Wellesley defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. And now we have an Irishman, I just can't say this enough and not laugh, in the middle of Glasgow with a traffic cone in his head. Glasgow, I don't ask why. I'm like you lads, I say, why not? Love it. I'm now in hallowed Greg's territory. So we've reached a pivotal moment in my life. Glen is about to hand me over a Glen's sausage roll. Greg's sausage roll.
Sausage!
Here we go. Apparently this is just a thing you do when you're in Rome.
Well, in the UK.
Oh, there's a crunch to that. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not really here.
Also, look at a Blue Lagoon menu. A beef burger, fish burger, and sweet chili chicken burger.
But the real game changer is when you get to the traditional Scottish stuff. This is where you go. Everything here is deep fried.
The thing that just grabs me is a vegan battered sausage. I mean, why even bother? It's like going to a hooker for a hug, really.
Or to a nun for an orgy.
That's right.
very sociable.
You can't beat 2025 anti-social media, you know? Anti-social media.
I was actually doing my job, so this fella can shut up.
A nice little appetizing breakfast just to kickstart the day. It's like same calories as a cream cracker.
We encourage healthy eating on this trip. Like,
Yeah.
we're growing boys. We need to like eat right.
Yeah, we need our energy. We need our start to a Sunday.
Watch our figure, you know. Nearly beach bod season, yeah.
The buildings are just epic. You look across the road and tenant sign and this fantastic building that looks like there should be like an art gallery sign for tenants, National Scottish Institution. I don't even know if I've ever actually even had appointed tenants. The tenants is built into the Glasgow Central Station. There you go. So yeah, get your train. And Glen has found something.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, no way. Wait, we got Hulkster, we have Arnie, and we have Sylvester Stallone. It looks like he's eating a cucumber.
He's playing the guitar.
And he's also playing a guitar. Hey, yo, cold beer. Jolly well hope so. Loving the facade of Central Station. Looks very, very Harry Potter. Edwardian, Victorian style architecture. Under the bridge in Glasgow.
It's where I do something
Under the bridge in Glasgow.
I can't get in there.
Glen nearly fell over another footpath.
I don't have any balance,
Glen has no balance.
cause I'm a clumsy
So we're right alongside the glamorous River Clyde. Huge textiles industry here in Glasgow, much like Belfast. Shipping, of course, was another big industry here too. Now, obviously in 2025, not as influential as it used to be, but needless to say, we'll go down and have a little look at the lifeblood of the city of Glasgow, the River Clyde. Also, by the way, happy 850th birthday to Glasgow this year. What do you reckon, Glen? That's a lot of candles to blow out.
I can't even count past 5. So.
Can't even count past 5. 850 years old and you look absolutely fantastic. Happy birthday, Glasgow. And also, I believe the first St. Patrick's Day for years in Glasgow was staged here yesterday. And recording this, it's March, but it's not St. Patrick's Day until next week. So I have no idea why St. Patrick's Day was celebrated a week or two early in Glasgow, but hey, great to see. And apparently it went off without a hitch. Hundreds of people were out and about and had a great time. My mother always told me about the guy, you know, he'd be 40 years old, fit, never smoked, never drank in his life, but still dropped dead of a massive heart attack. So don't run, kids. Very, very bad for you.
Yep.
The city of Glasgow and the British Labour movement pay tribute to the courage of those men and women who fought and went to Spain to fight fascism. 1936, 1939. So 2,100 volunteers went from Britain, 534 were killed, 65 of whom came from Glasgow. That would have also been a thing in Ireland as well. Men like Frank Ryan and La Quinta Brigada, Irish men who would have went off and fought Franco. Very, very striking quote below it. Better to die on your feet than live forever on your knees. Different times, but still relevant. Folk standard song Black is the Colour. It's actually of Scottish origin, even though many people have done versions of it. Christy Moore from Ireland, of course, very, very famous version. And in the lyrics it says, I go to the Clyde, I mourn and weep, satisfied I never can be. Now, I don't think I'll be doing a lot of mourning and weeping along the river today. I'll just be happy enough to look at it, to be quite honest. But
it is morning.
It is morning.
Yeah.
Without the U. That's something you don't see in Ireland either. Somewhere to buy alcohol in a shopping centre. Yeah, think about it. We never have that. It's only ever like restaurants, coffee shops.
Yeah.
Never beer and cocktails and all that good stuff. So we're in the St. Enoch shopping centre. And it's very much a Sunday vibe going on here. Very, very... Yeah, nothing's open. Everybody's at home. Maybe watching Netflix.
Get your nails done, did though.
I do need to get my nails done.
Get my nails done, did.
Argyle Street. And alongside Buchanan Street, I suppose it's probably two of the major streets here in Glasgow city centre. So what we're going to do next is try and go to one of the art museums, Glasgow Cathedral. Just depends on how we're doing for time and stuff like that. Glasgow, you intrigue me. An alien UFO burger, if you can explain that. So I got to the Museum of Modern Art, Glen. Very, very nice. There's a good visual presentation on the ground floor when we walked in, detailing about some of the unsung folk involved in conflicts around the world, especially early part of the 20th century. It was very, very striking.
Yeah, it was one of those things you could have sat there all day. It's been glued to the sea, but
Yeah.
we got a city to see, baby.
So the sun does exist in Scotland. It's not a myth. I know that Edinburgh has the name for architecture in Scotland, but I mean, there's parts of Glasgow that looks like you're walking through Prague, parts of continental Europe. Absolutely beautiful. Check this out. So we're just here in Brewdog. Get a bit of culture in, Glen, I think.
Lovely bit of culture.
To culture.
To culture.
Aha!
Come on.
Discussing culture. So we're going to the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery and Museum.
I feel less cultured already.
Less cultured. Well,
Show me the really big dinosaurs. That's all I want to see.
yeah, Glen's here for the dinosaurs. Piece of work here from Rembrandt and Van Gogh and Monet.
So the other one.
We're doing steep hills in Glasgow. The only way, it's like trying to outrun a crocodile. You go from one side to the other, one side to the other. So we're off to the University of Glasgow, which we believe is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if it's on purpose, but the College of Medical, Veterinary and Life Sciences is over here. If that's for people like me, at least, who'll probably die walking up a hill. Cardio. But yeah, people saying about Glasgow being the not so pretty version of Edinburgh. Wash your mouth out with salt. It's absolutely beautiful out here. So where we are at the moment is kind of the west part of the city. It's not as condensed as around by George's Square. So if you're staying around the middle of the city, recommend hitting the west side of Glasgow. Very, very beautiful. Very, very lucky with the weather though. So I'm currently standing outside what's said to be one of the longest bars in the UK. It's a pub called the Horseshoe Bar. And a man called John White took it over at the beginning of the 20th century, and he had a bit of a equestrian background, so hence the name that he gave it, the Horseshoe Bar. So let's go in and check it out. Hello, Mr. Glen. Cheers. Tell you what, that's not bad. Not a Dublin pint. A lot colder than what we get in the Dublin pub. Very, very good, very tasty. I've left Glen to go and do his music and thing, and I'm gonna go check out Waxy O'Connor's. So I had to be that guy. Go to a different country, of course, and go to a recommended Irish pub, because sometimes I'm very curious to see what Irish pubs are supposed to be like in other countries. I know it's like an unwritten rule, don't go to the Irish pub, but here we are, and who cares. I was in the Horseshoe Bar up until recently, and we're only going to go for like 1 pint, end up staying for 3, and the people in there were very, very friendly. Speaking to a few lads, they supported Rangers, and they're off to a rock concert, so I couldn't give a rat's about who follows who, Celtic, Rangers. If you're a good person and you're having the crack, which people in Glasgow are very similar to us dubs, then that's good enough for me. It's like going down into the crypt. Okay, I guess it's time to have a pint of Guinness in the best Irish bar in the world, apart from anywhere in Ireland, apparently. Let's give it a shot. Cilantro. Ooh, it has that kick from home, not the tanginess, just that kind of little barley kick. Way colder than any pint you'd ever have in Dublin or anywhere in Ireland. A lot of time people say that's to compensate for the lack of kick that I'm talking about, but it tastes really, really good. I would say potentially better than the one I had in the Horseshoe Bar. I think that's just a continuing theme, the temperature change around parts of Scotland, England, Wales that I've experienced anyway. Waxy O'Connor's, it's outside of Ireland, 7 out of 10. No, outside of Ireland, I'd say an 8 out of 10. If it was in Ireland, probably 6. And a good 6. So Argyll Street by night time, when you guys seen the vlog earlier, it was a little bit quieter. Rumour is that a lot of early Hollywood movies, or later Hollywood movies should I say, when they're trying to recreate scenes for New York City, and they couldn't get scenes in New York, they would use Glasgow. Now, that goes back to many, many years ago, when a lot of Scottish immigrants would make their way to New York in search of a new life, much like the Irish, and they brought their skills, their architectural skills, their building skills, and a lot of the Victorian style of architecture that they learnt and would have observed here in Glasgow would have been brought to New York. And I have never spent any time in New York, but I wouldn't say there's as many skyscrapers in Glasgow as there is in New York. So pretty excited about where I'm going now. I'm going to a pub called the Scotia Bar. Very historical indeed, because back in the 1960s and 1970s there was the folk music boom happening in Ireland, in England, in Scotland, in Wales. And there was a little band called the Humble Bums, and 2 of the members were Billy Connolly, who went on to be a major comedian, and a man called Jerry Rafferty. You might have heard of the song Baker Street, the sax solo. And the pub that we're going to go to, the Scotia Bar, is where they arguably made their name as a two-piece. In the immortal words of Billy Connolly, he'd say, two-piece? Two-piece what? Cardigan? Skirt? Love Billy. Love Jerry. And now we're going to check out a pub that I've wanted to check out for years, that I used to hear Billy talking about. Have to give a big heads up to the police here in Glasgow, because they have a presence. When I was walking along the bridge, some of the more darker areas, I take it, along the river, there was 2 police officers there on the mountain bike, and the torchlights on full blast. Unfortunately, back home in Dublin, you wouldn't really see that. There's a lot to be said for a presence. And here in Glasgow, 10 out of 10. Because it makes me feel safer. I'm a big lad, but arguably still makes me feel safer. Have to say, haven't spotted one ounce of trouble. Haven't felt awkward, haven't felt weird once. So made a bit of an unexpected detour. I was looking for the Scotia Bar, and then I just happened to come across a bar called the Horseshoe Bar. And unfortunately, a helicopter accident happened here over a decade ago, which a number of people lost their lives. But it's resurrected itself, and it's where the likes of Billy Connolly, Frank Zappa, amongst many, many others have played down through the years. After a much needed bit of food, very hungry I was, I'm going to go finally now to the Scotia. Let's go. As ever, friendly Glasgow local advice. The time has come. Mars Bar. A battered Mars Bar. I've heard about this in Scotland for years. I haven't been back here for years to even try it. So I just said, why not? Let's try it. Bon appetit. Oh my god. Oh, it's like a pancake if you jumped on it a few times with Nutella. This should not work, by the way, but it does. Just to reiterate, this is a Mars bar that we all have eaten in our childhoods and adulthoods, deep fried in batter. And it's usually the specialty of a chain of fast food restaurants around Glasgow called Blue Lagoon. I thought there was just one Blue Lagoon, but turns out there's very, very many Blue Lagoons. And I'm sampling from this one on Bat Street near our hotel. Fucking hell. Not gonna lie, I feel like I've achieved something. Your trip to Glasgow, even better. I ate a battered Mars bar. Just so tasty. When I went to order this, a girl outside and the girl working behind the counter said, "Oh, are you going to order anything else?" I was thinking, oh, okay, I guess I have to. I bought some chips, so it's okay. Also, you can get, if you want, a side of ice cream. Imagine going home with your dinner on a Friday and it's a battered Mars bar with a slab of ice cream. Listen, who am I to judge? I've talked to people from Glasgow today who've never even tried it, so there you go. Trip has come to an end. Glen's just behind me getting some water because he had 1 or 2 extra whiskies last night. He's not feeling too fresh. At the airport, Glen, how are you feeling then?
To be honest, Ross, I have felt better. I stupidly indulged in Scottish whiskey last night, and I have such a bad headache. Like, my head is literally about to fall.
Do you think the headache is just coincidental, or the headache is probably brought about by the whiskey?
The headache was brought about by mixing whiskey and limes.
But listen, we're going back home, and I'd like to thank Glen for inviting me along to all the silliness.
I don't know if I can hack another day in Scotland. No, I love it over here, but
yeah.
I love it too much.
Yeah, that's the quote of the day. Scotland, Glen Bollard loves you too much. So he needs to just divorce you for a brief period and he'll be back at Glasgow airport. Hope you enjoyed the vlog and I'll see you all soon.